got a funny story to share with you today. If you have seen The Wolf of Wall Street, there's this scene where I think it's Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill is this character that comes into with Leonardo DiCaprio. And then what happens is they're in a diner, for example. Leonardo is just eating. He's just eating a meal in the diner. And then Jonah Hill comes and he talks to him and says, "Hey, by the way, I recognize you. You're in the same building as me." And Leonardo is just like, yeah, okay, yeah, hi, nice to meet you. And like his name is, and introduce themselves. Jonah goes to Leonardo like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm a stockbroker. I trade stocks." And then Jonah's like, "Oh, okay. Well, like, you notice that you have a nice car and everything. Like, how much money do you typically make with that, right?" And it's funny because Jonah plays this character that he's a little bit upfront, like, he's just like blunt, direct, but also a little bit awkward. So you can tell, like, Leonardo, the first time you met him, he plays the role really well, where it's like, okay, who's this weirdo? But anyways, so he asked him, "How much do you typically make?" And he goes like, "Oh, I made like," I forgot what the number, but I'm gonna throw it like it's a big number, right? So he's gonna say, "Oh, I made about like $44,000 last month." And then Jonah's like, "Get out of here!" And then you can see the expression on Leonardo is like, he's like, "What the heck are you talking about?" It's like, it's normal, right? And then Jonah's like, "Okay, show me that you made that money." So, ironically, he happens to have the check, because at the time they have checks. He pulls out the check and then shows them the money. It's actually like $44,981 or something like that. And Jonah Hill goes, "You know what? You teach me how to do this, I quit my job right away and I start working for you." All right, so that's a scene, which is hilarious. So I happen to be volunteering at this event, and I'm volunteering at this event, and I happen to have a conversation with the security. We're just talking. He tells me a little bit what you do, and tell him, like, I run out my own business and stuff like that. And then he tells me that he's actually been working quite a lot, because I don't really know about like how security jobs work. Anyways, he tells me that he's been working quite a lot, and typically he can add more hours to his shift, or if there's more opportunities, he can just add more hours. And he says that the pay is actually pretty good. So I ask him, because I have no idea what the pay is really for as a security, what you would get. So he tells me a little bit about his pay. It's like, "Oh, okay." And then I was like, and then he asked me, "Well, what about you? Like, run your own business. What kind of like money do you make?" And I told him the number, right? I told the number. It was, I think it's like 15 or 20,000, something like that for the month. I forgot what the number I threw him. And then he did a Jonah Hill thing. He did a Jonah Hill thing, which is so funny. So this is what he did. He turns around and he's like, it's almost like he can't comprehend it. So he turns around for a second and he comes back. He goes, "That's what you made in a month, right?" I guess he needs clarification. He's like, is this guy like lying, or like, can I catch him? He's lying. So he asked me again, and she's like, "Yeah, that's exactly how much I made, and that was cash, so it was good." Like, I just happened to have clients that paid in full for that month. A few of them that paid in full, which worked out really well, because sometimes they go on a payment plan. But anyways, it just happened to be like paid in full, which is great. So I'm like, "Yeah, that's how much I made." And then he's like, and this is where the part where he does a Jonah Hill. He goes, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you teach me what you do, or I can work for you, and you don't have to pay me, but I just want to learn, right? Just tell me whatever I need to do, and I can learn." And I'm thinking, like, oh man, like, this guy pulled a Jonah Hill on me. He just pulled a Jonah Hill on me, which is so funny. Like the Wolf of Wall Street, he just pulled that on me. And then I told him, like, "Yeah, like, I work with entrepreneurs who are serious and who are busy, and who actually have already been doing it for at least a while. Like, they're starting out." So I knew that this guy would not be the right fit. And usually people who are highly interested, or they would also be investing in this. But that was a really funny, but that was not the only person. So I happened to have this happened to be online as well. So I post something about marketing, and because obviously an entrepreneur, like, you should know something about marketing. That doesn't mean that that's your area of expertise, but you should know something about marketing, just like you should know something about accounting, should know something about bookkeeping as running your own business. So I post something about marketing, and then I got a bunch of people also approach me. It's like, "Hey, you know what, can I just work for you, and I can learn from you, and I'll do whatever you need, and then you don't have to pay me, I just want to learn." And I'm like, oh man, it's one of those again. So I got a bunch of Jonah Hills. But it's funny how sometimes you meet those people, and they're there. Like it's just like the movie. So what's the lesson? What's the learning? What does it have to do? What does it have anything to do with entrepreneurship? Well, and entrepreneurship and also leadership, right? The first thing is it was very clear for me to say no. As big as my heart is, you have to learn when to say no, right? For this, if I were to say yes, one, it would have sucked up my time. And two, I don't know if these people would follow through on whatever was needed, all right? So knowing when to say no is a huge component of leadership. It will free up my time, it will free up their time so that they can focus on whatever they need to focus on. I can focus on what I am supposed to be focusing on, which is helping busy entrepreneurs who are running multiple businesses and who are looking at elevating their leadership, not somebody who's just starting out or contemplating about it. So I hope you enjoyed the stories. I know a lot of you enjoyed the stories. That's actually one of the stories. I got a lot of other stories. I'll share more about them with you next time.